Today, we will be figuring out the answer to the age-old question. Will we pull back? Figure out more in this video. Hello there, everyone. I hope you are having a beautiful, beautiful day. So today is a less beautiful day with a less beautiful message in my eyes, because I believe that we might be facing a pullback on crypto in general and on Bitcoin, of course. So reasons being, I'll explain this to you right now. Basically, I've been trying to analyze the Bitcoin charts on the weekly time frame, just looking for some patterns that can predict a potential pullback. And I found a pattern right now that could suggest that we are in for a longer time frame pullback. So that will mean the upcoming few weeks we could see a small pullback. So what I want to do with you now is I just want to walk you through some price action, some patterns, and then see what I see happening right now, that I saw in the past, that I'm using right now. Okay. Might be a little bit confusing to you guys, but basically what I'm trying to say is you find a pattern, the pattern repeats itself, then you use that information in order to try and predict the future, right? That's what we do as a trader, and that's what we do on the WhatsNext Community Channel. So if you haven't subscribed just yet, if you think that is a nice thing to do, or that you want to make your money online, please do subscribe to this channel, because we give daily market outlook updates, we give daily free educational content, and much, much more. So do subscribe if you're interested in this kind of stuff. So right now I am trying to predict that we are going to have a pullback, right? So basically, if we just use this replay mode, right? This is a beautiful tool to use when you are making predictions like this. So basically we saw a big push towards the upside, a big distance being created from the 20 EMA on the weekly time frame, and then we saw some imbalanced candlesticks forming. Basically, this means that the sum of the wicks is larger than the body of the candle. Now, if a candle has a large body, that means that a large movement has happened towards either the upside or the downside, right? So it can only have a regular color, like a blue or a green or a red color, if you have the actual big candle, right? If you have a big movement, then you will have a red or a green candle. So you can use this indicator to your advantage whilst using, for example, the strategy of supply and demand. This is the 50% body candle indicator. You can just find it here on indicators. I have it here. I'm using this one. So basically, we saw that after a large push towards the upside, we are at all-time high values. We are distant from both EMAs. And basically, we started to crawl sideways, right? And sideways price action is never good after you had an impulsive move or towards either the upside or towards the downside, right? So if you have an impulsive move, you go sideways, usually you correct, right? So right here, same story, but in this time we had continuation. But in general, if you have a push towards the upside and you have sideways consolidation, that can mean that you are now going to reverse the trend, or just at least have a pullback that can be a little bit significant, right? So in here, for example, right after the dip, we had a huge surge in price. Then we crawled sideways. We got some time to get back to the EMAs again, and then we started trending upwards again, right? So the pattern that I'm trying to show to you guys is we've had a huge push towards the upside recently. This 140% in 140 days. And right here we have around 75% gains in 49 days, right? So it's basically where we're at right now. And just to give you some perspective, basically in October we did 69%, right, in 28 days. And right now we've already been trending for 28 days, the same time period, and we made a gain of maximum 2.96%, right? So are we still in that impulsive uptrend? Are we still really pushing towards the highs? Well, in my opinion, we're not, right? And if you're not pushing towards the highs, and if you're at all-time high values, then that might be a good decision to take off some risk in the market, take some profits, and just enjoy waiting for a pullback, right? That's how money is made. That's how coin positions are grown. Basically, how you use that information to your advantage to then get a larger position in your favorite cryptocurrency, for example. So right now, we are also seeing a divergence in RSI on the daily time frame, right? So it's a very clear divergence, in my opinion. This basically means that whilst we had a higher high being created, we can also see that there's a big divergence happening, right? So the strength of the uptrend is weakening. That's basically what this is signaling. So even though you're making a higher high right here, even though you might suggest that we might see some continuation, it is a little bit concerning that we have this RSI divergence. But towards, like, on the contrary, we do have this rejection on the 20 EMA coming back to this liquidity area, and then this strong bullish daily candle that could signal some continuation as well. So do keep that in mind when you're trying to make predictions in the market, that there is also something that suggests that we could see some continuation. But for me, the downside is way larger than the upside at this moment, and we are at all-time high values, right? So I see basically some sideways price action around the all-time highs. I do see somewhat of an ascending triangle kind of structure forming, but what did we see here, right? We were at all-time high values. We see this higher high being created right here. We then see the continuation towards the upside. We see another higher high being created, and this was like the breakout, right? This was like everyone's signal to go fully leverage long on Bitcoin, basically breaking out of this ascending triangle structure. We broke out, created a new all-time high, and bam, we just saw that instant rejection with a huge liquidation spike, right? So these kinds of days, like you had 7% and then the huge down day of 20%. A lot of positions got liquidated on that specific time frame, right? Then we had this huge correction of 27.5%, which eventually led, after reaching that 0.618 for the traders between us, perfect rejection of the golden pocket, and then the continuation towards the downside, all the way towards the 30K levels, right? So needless to say, some caution is required, right? And I prefer to be cautious, especially when we're at these high levels, especially after we've had an impulsive move towards the upside. That's basically, those are my two signals to just get cautious in the market. And right now, I'm just trying to apply risk management. So let's go to the weekly time frame. I'll show you again. Basically, some sideways consolidation, correction, sideways consolidation, correction, sideways consolidation, correction, sideways consolidation. You know, the white candles right here, correction, continuation this time, and here and here we see this repeated over and over again, right? This is not a big buy signal. This is just a signal to be cautious, right? And what we do see is that continuation can be likely, right? So the weekly 20 EMA in a bull market, it can be an amazing support. You see us coming back towards that support line here as well. We just see often that you use this support, as this weekly 20 EMA, as a beautiful support when you're trying to continue in a parabolic or a very strong uptrend, right? So that is something to look out for, in my opinion, just watching that weekly 20 EMA. But right now, as you see, we're kind of overextended. We're way above this EMA line right here. And I think right now we could move sideways a little perhaps, and then tap this EMA line before continuing further towards the upside, if we are going to continue towards the upside. So that's basically my prediction, and that's my reasoning behind the prediction. So now let's look at some targets for the pullback and also a target to scale out. So we just hit my scale out target actually today. 66,441 was my scale out target, and we almost perfectly hit that scale out target. It was, of course, this fib retracement right here. Beautiful price action, in my opinion, to continue further towards the downside. Reason being, if you have a high right here, then you have a high right here, and basically you take out the highs, and then you often see like a rejection happening, right? So those are the patterns I like to trade, basically watching for those high breaks. Like here, for example, I was like, okay, if we saw this push towards the upside, I really wanted this high to be taken out, liquidity to flow towards the shorts, and then basically seeing some continuation towards the downside, perhaps towards this level right here. So I'm holding on to this short. I shorted this on Ethereum. My entry was, my position is actually right now on break even already. So I tried to get some exposure to Ethereum. I saw the same pattern happening, a little bit higher. I took it a little bit higher, but yeah, it was a beautiful position. Right now it's running at break even. My entry is at 47.38, and we'll see what happens with this position, right? But let's get back to Bitcoin right now. So basically, I am expecting us to continue further towards the downside. I am managing my risk as if I am expecting more downside continuation. And yeah, for me, it's just like we saw a huge trend towards the upside. I made amazing gains in October. And now for me, it's just time to take some risk off the table and relax, see what happens. Perhaps we go and continue to further towards the upside, maybe break this all-time high, and with some smart risk management, then you could take some positions, right? But I'm not really looking forward to buying the all-time highs and buying into the hype just yet. I'm trying to manage my risk accordingly. And I did so by predicting these levels right here, just trying to get some further continuation towards the downside, or at least manage my risk from those levels. So right now, I have some levels on the daily time frame that I'm looking at for a potential pullback. This is, of course, a larger time frame pullback. So guys, don't get worried too much. Like, we're not going to 53K tomorrow, but we might get there in the upcoming few weeks if we get that continuation towards the downside, that longer time frame pullback that we've been anticipating so far. So 62,127, there's a lot of confluence on this area. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if we can hold that area, and especially if I could just get a juicy long, perhaps taking these lows, getting some, like, a little bit more down into the zone, because basically this is the supply area I wanted to see filled up, right? And we barely didn't tap it. And yeah, I do think that there's a lot of confluence at the area of 62,000. So I would love to long that area. Unfortunately, I wasn't at my computer at these times to long it in the weekend. But yeah, I do love this 62,000 area. So then we have some other areas to look at, which is, of course, the 58,000 area, some demand right here, and the 53,650, which is the overall 0.382 retracement from this entire move, right? And then we can also stack some more confluences if we do this right here. Get that, basically this move towards the upside, get some continuation towards the downside right here to 58,000, and then you still have a very impulsive move towards the upside, but with that 0.382 rejection. So 0.382, don't get yourself distracted by all the terms that are flying around. Basically, we have an explanation video about 0.382, about the Fibonacci retracement tool. Do check that one out. We have all this free content for you guys to check out. Basically, we're trying to create a whole series of just day trading basics, trying to explain everything to everyone, trying to get some more people educated in this space, right? So do check those videos out. It's for free on our channel, and you can just find it in the playlist. So what I want to show to you guys is that often on an impulsive move towards the upside, like we saw right here, you see a rejection towards that 0.32 level, right? And what do we see here, right? Like this kind of price action that I was just talking about, right? Basically having a push towards the upside, and then something like this, and then a rejection, right? That's something that I would be looking for. Same story here, push, rejection, and then getting back towards that 0.32. So I'm really looking forward to opening some longs at lower levels, because I'm still bullish overall on the market, right? Nothing changes, but I do want to anticipate on getting a potential retracement. So thank you all for watching. I hope this was educational. I hope you learned something today. I hope you grown as a person, and I hope you will become a subscriber perhaps, right? Subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this video, send it to all your friends who also want to be educated, and that's that. So I will see you all in the next one. Thank you guys.